Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. Suspended Congressman Arnie Teves is now a terrorist, according to the Anti-Terrorism Council, or ATC. The ATC likewise tagged the Negros Oriental lawmaker as the leader of the, quote, Teves terrorist group. Also designated as terrorists are Teves' brother Pride Henry and 11 others. The ATC said they have found probable cause that the Teveses and their supposed allies violated the Anti-Terrorism Act. With this, the Anti-Money Laundering Council can now control the banks and assets of the Teveses and the others who were recently designated as terrorists. On to another story now. Oil companies have implemented a big-time oil price hike today, Tuesday, August 1st. Diesel prices have gone up by a whopping 3 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. The price of gasoline has also been jacked up by 2 pesos and 10 centavos a liter, while kerosene is more expensive by 3 pesos and 25 centavos a liter. This is already the third consecutive week that fuel prices saw a hike, virtually canceling out rollbacks since the start of the year. The big-time price hike is an effect of the movement in international prices amid expectations of tightening supplies in the United States. And speaking of prices, consumers may have to shell out more for rice in the coming months if cheap imports of the staple do not come in on time. Federation of Free Farmers National Manager Raul Montemayor told The Big Story that there are factors that could influence prices and supply of rice in the Philippines. This includes India's recent ban on rice exports, which could drive other nations to import grains from Vietnam and Thailand. These Asian nations are the main rice exporters of the Philippines. Montemayor explained that only private traders can import rice since the rice tariffication law prohibits the National Food Authority, or NFA, from doing so. The problem is, private traders are hesitant to import since the price of rice in the world market are steep at this point.
Ang problema ngayon, kukunti yung pumapasok na imports dahil napakamahal. No? That the private sector is scaling back their imports because they are afraid if they will buy at such high prices, they might not be able to sell it here with a profit. The rice tariffication law actually prohibited the NFA from importing rice. No? It was supposed to get its buffer stock exclusively from local farmers. So they might try to go around that provision in the law by importing through another agency. The increase in the prices, parang wala na tayong magagawa dyan, no? Kasi sa international, talagang tumataas siya. If we don't get that extra 1 month supply from imports, after 2 months, wala na tayong bigas. Now, because again, we started July 1 with only 2 months supply. No? And normally that is augmented by imports. If no imports come in, September will be a very critical period for us.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're back on One News now. I'm Sean Yao. Let's check in on the weather. We have Typhoon Falcon maintaining its strength as it moves toward the sea southeast of Okinawa Islands in Japan. Pag-asa last spotted Falcon some 875 kilometers east-northeast of extreme northern Luzon. It is packing wind speeds of up to 175 kilometers per hour. The typhoon is moving west-northwest at a speed of 20 kilometers per hour and could make its way out of the Philippine area of responsibility this afternoon. Nonetheless, occasional to monsoon rains are still expected over the western portion of Luzon in the next 3 days due to the southwest monsoon or habagat that is being enhanced by Falcon. Now, before Typhoon Falcon, torrential rains and widespread flooding have already battered several regions in the country. The effects of Typhoon Egay and the habagat were a devastating combination for many provinces. Here's the report.
Over 5 billion pesos in estimated damage, 1 million people affected, and several provinces now in a state of calamity. That's how Super Typhoon Egay left its mark on the Philippines last week. Marcos family stronghold Ilocos Norte was one of the first provinces to declare a state of calamity. At least 8 towns saw severe damage, driving hundreds of families to evacuation centers. In Ilocos Sur, floodwaters also displaced several residents and destroyed bridges, making it hard to conduct relief operations in the aftermath of the typhoon. Several towns in Pangasinan also saw flooding and strong winds. Streets in Calasiao were submerged, while a gym in Dagupan City saw its roof collapse. Egay also barreled through Cagayan, having made landfall in the province twice. The cyclone left several towns and farmlands flooded. Provinces in central Luzon were also not spared. Bataan and Pampanga are now under a state of calamity due to non-stop rains. In Pampanga, residents wade in knee-deep floodwaters as they continue their day-to-day tasks. The same goes for people living in Hermosa, Bataan. At least 7 provinces are now under a state of calamity. What's worse is that rains are expected to continue with Typhoon Falcon enhancing the habagat or southwest monsoon. The government is now busy extending relief assistance to affected areas. But in terms of long-term solution, the Philippines is getting help from the European Union.
We're currently setting up a so-called Copernicus data mirror site within the Philippines Space Agency. And we have just signed an agreement to boost the flow on Earth observation data.
The Copernicus data technology from the EU is expected to help the Philippines with early weather warnings. It forms part of the EU 60 million euro grant for the Philippines to pursue climate change mitigation and the shift to renewable energy. Arian Kalumbiran, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Teves is reporting that the Mayon volcano has been spewing lava for 8 weeks straight now. Rockfall and lava flow events have been recorded in the volcano's 3 gullies. Teves has also monitored over 100 volcanic earthquakes and 73 rockfall events since June. Alert level 3 remains up over Mayon, which means that areas within its 7-kilometer radius are no-fly zones and off-limits to residents and tourists. And the price of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, are up this month. Starting today, August 1st, LPG is more expensive by 4 pesos and 55 centavos a kilo. That is equivalent to an almost 50 peso increase in the standard 11-kilogram tank. Meanwhile, auto LPG prices have likewise gone up by 2 pesos and 54 centavos per liter. And LRT Lines 1 and 2 will be implementing increases in ticket prices starting tomorrow, Wednesday, August 2. Single journey tickets in these train lines will cost at least 15 pesos each. Those using beep cards will have to shell out fares ranging from 13 to 35 pesos. The last LRT 1 and LRT 2 fare hikes took effect way back in 2015. One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.